morning, Wareham. It is Wednesday, October 2nd. Oh my goodness, it's October. Wow. We have a great show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. This morning, comedian Jesseline Peters is in the studio, so prepare to laugh out loud. Also, find out what did Debbie do or what didn't she do. Also, learn about the WCTV app and learn how you are a beautiful blessing. But first, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the weather and the news headlines are next. Cloudy skies. Was this sunny? No, cloudy skies with the chances of meatballs. That was the movie. Cloudy skies today with periods of rain later in the day, high near 80 degrees. Bob White is not dressed accordingly today. Cloudy skies at night with a slight chance of rain, low at 49. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high at 59, and also cloudy at night with occasional showers, low at 51. So again, you see the trend. It's like one day it's 80, the next day is 60, or 50 actually. Anyhow, and now to the news. There were plenty of news stories over the week coming up at the news headlines. Week at the following. On Monday, Lady Vikings secured their first win of the season, defeating Bristol Aggie 6-0. Although the team had lost its previous 9 games, the players' team spirit stays strong. Despite their strong bond, the team still has room for improvement and is working on effective communication, which can often make the difference between victory or defeat. Last year, the team brought home 5 victories but sustained 13 losses. Also, cannabis entrepreneurs turned out on Tuesday to oppose bills that would add houses of worship, daycares, and places where children might congregate to the list of places where marijuana companies should stay away from. State law already bans marijuana establishments from being located within 500 feet of a pre-existing public or private school providing education in kindergarten or any of grades 1 through 12. Chauncey Spencer, a Boston resident who is working to open a marijuana retail store in the city, told the Committee on Cannabis Policy that the bills would severely limit where his company could operate. And that's all for this morning's news. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to continue with more. So last week I had a great chance to visit a local artist at her home to talk about her artwork. I met this artist in Buzzards Bay during Canal Day in Buzzards Bay. So her name is Debbie and her business is called Debbie Did It. She makes homemade paintings using alcohol. So take a look. She is not your average Debbie. And unlike her sister, Debbie Downer, this Debbie is a Debbie doer. Hence the big question, what did Debbie do? business, what did Debbie do? I mean, there's possibility.
Yep.
A plethora of questions.
We get asked that every time, all the art shows. What did Debbie do? And they're standing right in front of the tent, and I'm like, it's a way to cut the ice and get people talking and laughing, and then of course they're going to come in, you know, and look around, and you never know what's going to happen, you know.
An enthusiast for bright colors, Debbie is the artist behind these loud, extravagant, and emotive artworks. From murals, painted furniture, to jewelry, what didn't Debbie do? Now, your pieces are very colorful.
Yes.
The one behind me, it's blue and purple, gold.
Yep.
Very, very colorful, very bright. But when I saw it, it was almost like seeing a spirit, free.
Yes. And that's how I feel when I paint.
Okay.
Yes. I do my artwork, and I'm in my own world. I shut the door. I open the window, put the fan on, because you're working with alcohol, so you got to have a little bit of ventilation. But and I start making colors, and I start making that picture, and that's all that's in my mind right there. I'm just creating.
She professionally started working as a full-time artist 3 years ago. However, her love for art is hereditary.
Ever since I was little, I would sit and sketch and paint, and I did the whole Bob Ross thing, and I did the landscape. Like I said, I did a number of different things to see, what do I like?
So I get your message. You want people to feel happy, and it's very important, especially, I do not want to just pinpoint today and age, but with stress, whatever people are going through, it's always important to have a place, something to remind you that there is a brighter day. But what do you feel is your obligation as an artist?
Oh, good question. My obligation, I think, is I want to make people happy. I want to bring color into their lives. I think I see people get happy. It makes me happy, and then I just go on from there. It's like my drug. It really. I don't do drugs, but when I see people, this is my drug, and to see people happy, it fulfills me. So, I guess that's what it is.
Do you always use white canvases, or you also play with others?
So, that's a good question too, because I do like the white. I love the negative space. I think it creates, it makes your eyes move around the whole painting, so you get the full effect.
Now, for those who would come to your art shows, would see a beautiful piece, and they would say to themselves, geez, it's gorgeous, but I bet I can get a painting in Walmart, whatever, cheaper. How do you defend your price, your art?
So, no one's actually ever said that to me before, but if they do, I say, go right ahead. Anyone could go in and buy that piece of art, but what does it mean to you? It's not going to have the same emotional background of when you go to that art show and you meet the artist and you talk to the artist and you get a piece from that artist, and it's a personal piece that, whether it's commissioned or not, it means something. It always reminds you of that day that you saw it and said, oh, that's beautiful. So I think it has more background than walking into a Walmart or a Home Goods and going, yeah, I like that, let's get it and bring it home.
Forever and ever till the end of time. Oh, why don't you take me to the moon?
For more answers to what did Debbie do, please visit debbiedidit.com. Yes, visit debbiedidit.com to learn more on her artwork and different things that she does, in case you are interested. And now to our second featured program. This is about beautiful blessings, dolls that resemble you, who you are inside or who you wish to be. So take a look.
We have to look at the world as it is. It is diverse. It is multicultural. And you want to empower all of those cultures. I don't think anybody should feel negligent or left out because of them not being of a particular race. I think that mindset needs to be discouraged.
Every person is a beautiful blessing, and that message could not come so clearly than from my guest, the guest of honor, Miss Ravine James, the creator of the Beautiful Blessings dolls. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
So let's talk a little bit about your dolls. Your dolls, they may look like just a doll, but they carry a very powerful message.
Yes.
They are a movement
Yes.
by themselves. So tell me about Beautiful Blessings, and especially about the name, where it comes from.
Okay, so Beautiful Blessings is a unique doll collection that empowers girls and women. And I got the message to say, call them Beautiful Blessings, because that's what you are. That's what women and girls are. They're beautiful blessings. So that's where that name came from.
So what made you say, listen, I want to start, not only I want to purchase a doll, I want to make my own?
Well, I'll talk about that. So growing up as a kid, I played with dolls all the time. I had all kinds of dolls. But my mother struggled finding black dolls. As I started buying dolls for kids and girls and my nieces and nephews, I still had a problem with the lack of diversity that was represented in the toy stores. And I was like, okay, this is the same stuff that was from 40, 50 years ago. And we still struggle with that. And I'm an adult woman, and I think that's crazy in this day and age with as diverse as cultures that we have in the United States and all over the world, that dolls need to represent every little girl. Every little girl should be able to see herself on the shelf.
Okay, so you are able to give little girls a chance to see themselves in the shelf. Mm-hmm. But also, these dolls
Adult
are for
women.
women. So what do they see? Or why should they purchase these dolls?
So each doll, the motivational message, I think, is what caters to the adult woman. Some women carry trauma, childhood issues into their adulthood. And because the women are who they are, the way they're shaped, the way they're built, what they edify, I think that's why adult women like them as well. It's with the names, and then who wouldn't like being called a beautiful blessing?
The step towards the empowerment, self-realization, putting an accurate value on yourself is a long journey. Purchasing this doll seemed like one of the steps. When they purchase it, how do they continue on from there? Do you offer any words of advice?
Yes, well, I would say, so as you purchase a doll, and as you purchase, if you purchase most of the dolls in the collection, every doll has its own distinctive message. So those different collector's items, and actually they're mirror cards, those different mirror cards, and my goal is that they look at that mirror card and look at the mirror and look themselves in the mirror and speak that message to themselves, tell them who they are.
So I'm sure you're helping a lot of young women and older women, but how have these dolls helped you?
Just the fact of the message, even the message has helped me. Sometimes, I'm creating the dolls, it's a reinforcement as to who I am as a woman. And even in this world where there's no one representing, there's not a lot of me in this space. So that can sometimes give you a different mindset. So as I design and create these dolls for other women, just the fact of doing that also inspires me as well.
So for those who are watching this interview and they say, oh my goodness, I want the doll, how do they get in touch with you?
You can go to my website, www.iamabeautifulblessing.com. And, if you Google Beautiful Blessings, you'll see a lot of different Beautiful Blessings dolls. You'll see a lot of information come up, but you can go to the website and there's even a contact form there to contact me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this interview. You have heard from Ms. Ravine how to contact her if you feel that one of these dolls could be the accurate representation of you or your young one. And have a pleasant day. Bye. I hope you have learned so much from those two featured programs. So right now we are going to introduce our WCTV app to you. This is a new app. It is available for both Androids and your iPhones. It's as easy as to type wctv.app, and that's it. You have the app. Take a look.
Today's cell phones are not only an extension of our arms, but a life tool. Hello, I am Maureen Farrington from Advantage Custom Apps. I am here today to talk about a certain app, a tool that will help you navigate your way through the Wareham community. The WCTV app places your local community in the palm of your hand. The app is a place where you will find local events, town meetings, local and school sports, community interest stories, compelling interviews, and most of all, the ability to shop local. Connect to the Wareham app by going to your web browser and typing in wctv.app. And then, once you bring up the web link, you have the opportunity of adding WCTV's app to your home screen. Once you download the app and save it to your home screen, you will then have the opportunity to, with the touch of a finger, hit the call button, which we call WCTV, the refer us button. You can refer the app to your friends and families. There's a Facebook share button if you'd like to put that on your Facebook page as well. And here is the menu tab. On the menu tab, we have YouTube videos, new program proposal, events that WCTV is hosting, a photo gallery, contact button, and can lead you right to their website. We also have a Shop Local tab. When you touch on that, you'll see the local businesses that you can frequent. Also, there's an About Us tab telling you some information about WCTV, their hours and directions. This here will take you right to their Facebook page. There is a donate button if you would like to donate to WCTV, and a join button that will let you join their community. Many local establishments are listing their business on the WCTV app. And you can too. It's a great way to showcase your business to your existing customers and your potential new ones. For a nominal fee, you could list your business on the Shop Local tab as well. A percentage of that fee goes to fund a scholarship for an outgoing senior. So be in the now and get the WCTV app on your home screen.
On the now and get the WCTV app on your home screen. Right now, we're going to take a look at our events calendar. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are broadcasting live from our WCTV studio in Wareham. This is Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news, weather, traffic, and more information. And now for a moment in history, let's take a look at where we were today in history. what you can. This day in American history, Thurgood Marshall was sworn into Supreme Court in 1967, becoming the first African American justice. Marshall was chief counsel for the NAACP in decades prior, striving for a country without segregation. He studied at Howard University and would be appointed to the Supreme Court by Lyndon B. Johnson. Also today, in this day in Amish history, a gunman killed 5 students along with himself in Pennsylvania in 2005. Charles Roberts IV was a milk truck driver who entered the one-room schoolhouse equipped with several weapons. He barricaded himself along with several Amish people. When police showed up, he ordered the police to leave, but when they didn't, he shot 5 people. As the police stormed in, he turned the gun onto himself. Roberts was a normal man with 3 children and a wife, and he had no former history of any criminal activity or mental illness. It seemed that one day he simply snapped. Also for today's birthday, shout out goes to Mahatma Gandhi, born in 1869 in Porbandar, India. Gandhi is best known for helping India gain independence through peaceful protest. And that is all for today in the history segment. To learn more cool historical facts, you can go online under history.com. The coffee segment is next, but first we have a few things here for you. For now, we're going to take a look at a recap game that happened last week. This is Wareham versus Fairhaven Girls Soccer. Okay, so let's take a look at Buttonwood Park Zoo. Zoos have come a long way since 1874, when the first public zoological park in Philadelphia debuted in the country. During their nascent days, zoos were a place where animals lived in captivity and are put on display for people to view. The perception has long changed. Nowadays, zoos across the country are a safe haven for endangered species.
When you're choosing species to the zoo, it's no longer what is the most popular. It's really focused on what species need the most work. And when I say that, it means what species really need the work from a conservation standpoint. Species that are threatened, species that are endangered, that really need to be at zoos, a part of captive breeding programs to help these species from going extinct.
Buttonwood Park Zoo's Animal Hospital assures the well-being and population of these species. So in case you're wondering, why is it important to assure the survival of species apart from yours?
And you do get that question a lot. What do I care? Why would I need to change my habits? Well, everything's an ecosystem. Everything is connected. So you can say, oh, well, I don't need red panda. Well, that impacts so many things. Not only the other animals in its environment, the plants in its environment, seed dispersal. There's a lot of things. The entire plant here is interconnected. And when you start losing these major species in these ecosystems, it has far-reaching impact. We can see in our own backyard. Best example I can give you, we have all kinds of problems with Lyme disease on the South Coast. Well, that's because our deer populations is so high. Why is our deer population so high? The natural predators, the cougars, the wolves, they don't exist anymore. The only thing that's out there is the coyote. Well, the coyote doesn't eat the mice to spread the ticks to the deer. There's a whole ecosystem. So how does it affect me? Well, you worried about Lyme disease? Well, that's one of the reasons, is because species have gone extinct, even in our backyard.
Do we always draw such a straight line?
It's never a straight line, and one of the difficult things from a biological standpoint and from an evolutionary standpoint is oftentimes the impact are not immediately known. It doesn't happen overnight. There are some species that go extinct and it's immediately felt in the ecosystem. Many of them have long-term implications.
My first visit to Buttonwood Park Zoo in New Bedford cemented that thought. The Buttonwood Park Zoo is one of the oldest urban and suburban zoos in the country. It first opened its doors in 1894 and are currently celebrating 125 years of conservation commitment to more than 50 endangered and threatened species. Walking around the zoo, it is hard to believe its age, all thanks to the cosmetic surgery back in 1996.
Yeah, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, the zoo closed for a complete remodel. There was, it was showing its age back then. So the entire zoo was done over, and that's about 20 years ago now. So yes, it was definitely a bright and shiny new zoo and an old footprint. And right now we're actually working on a master plan. It's been about 20 years since the zoo reopened, and we're working on updating everything at this point as well.
A component of the master plan was the expansion of Emily and Ruth Habitat, the two oldest residents in the zoo, in addition to opening Forest, Rivers, and Reef Reservation in 2017.
One great thing about the Rainforest Rivers and Reefs building is that we created mixed habitats, particularly on the Amazon side of the building. And what that basically means is that we don't have a singular species in one exhibit. We have a variety of different species living together, and that can be everything from small monkeys to tropical birds like parrots. We have lizard species, and we even have tons of fish species down below. Now, from an animal perspective, there's a lot of stimulation going on. There's all kinds of different animals. They need to learn how to cohabitate with all these different animals, and it creates not only a rewarding environment for the animals, it also creates a rewarding experience for the visitors that are coming to the zoo.
So part of our master plan is to redesign our barn area into the Nature Connection Education Center. So the barn itself is being retrofitted into 4 new classroom spaces, as well as a brand new animal ambassador facility where we'll be able to have our animal ambassadors get up close and personal with our visitors on a more regular basis than they are now.
Working with Nature Explorer, Charlie's Nature Play and Outdoor Nature Playground opened last July. The zoo also runs classes and public programs to help people best understand nature and the world around them.
So this is called Science on a Sphere. This is a tool that was developed by NOAA to be a way to visualize kind of global data. So what we're looking at right now is an actual satellite image taken from space of Earth. And what we're able to do with this is really do lessons. We do a ton of school programming and some public programming on things like weather, space, and really anything in between. So we have, let's see, right now we're looking at over 660 different data sets that we can put up on the sphere. Everything from the age of the seafloor, which is what is up there now, to, let's pick some other fun things that we can see. Bird migration patterns. So truly we can do a lot of really neat things with the sphere. So right here you can see they've put 2 data sets on top of each other. One is air temperature and the other one is bird populations. So you can see how bird populations may or may not move with the change in temperatures and seasons.
Now, for those who would say to you, wild animals do not belong in the zoo, what do you say?
I agree. I get this question all the time. Why? I need to qualify that, don't I? I get this question all the time. I'm a zoo director. I've been working in zoos for about 30 years now, and I wish there wasn't a need for zoos. I really wish that we could all just enjoy animals out in the wild, but that's not reality. Reality is species are becoming threatened, endangered, and going extinct at record levels. There are species that are at the Buttonwood Park Zoo and other zoos around the country that barely exist in the wild or are extinct in the wild. And the only chance for these species ever to survive or to ever be reintroduced back into the wild is the captive breeding programs of accredited zoos. So in a perfect world, you wouldn't need to have zoos. We have such lush wildlife interacting with humans. That's not the world we live in. The world we live in is that wildlife's under constant threat, and zoos are at the forefront of saving these species, from captive breeding programs for reintroduction and also for conservation in the field as well.
So whether you're in for the exotic experience and look at the beautiful pandas to the majestic elephants, or you're interested in seeing the faces of your occasional neighbors, Buttonwood Park Zoo may just be the answer.
You too can visit the Buttonwood Park Zoo in New Bedford. I think they are open 7 days a week. So take a look which day it's going to be best for you and your family. Anyhow, right now we're going to listen to Missy Diziak, the current director of Council on Aging, Wareham Council on Aging, talking about funding and you know, how things are turning out for them. So take a look.
Remind us about this particular Council on Aging and the people that come here.
Well, this Council on Aging is very unique because a number of years ago, when the town did not pass the 2.5 override, the budget of the Council on Aging was completely cut. So there was zero funding from the town, and that's been for about 5 years. Fortunately, we were able to get a grant 2.5 years ago, and I was hired for 6 months. And through additional grant money, I've stayed on for the next 2 years part-time, like 8 to 10 hours a week through grant money.
Tell us about the need in this community.
Well, the senior population, as in every town, but even more so in Wareham, continues to grow. So I would say a good 33% of the population of Wareham are senior citizens.
And are they seniors in need, seniors who are still working?
There's so many seniors in need in town. We have a wonderful new outreach worker, Kat Rowe, and she'll connect people to the agencies that can help them. So a person that needs food, maybe we can hook them up with Old Colony Elder Services. 150 meals a day, Monday through Friday, we deliver through volunteers. Volunteers come here, pick up the meals, and deliver them to homebound seniors. That number is going to continue to grow. And those are people that we're aware of who we now are giving services to. How many people are out there that aren't aware of the services? So that's a big part of our outreach, is to make people aware of what we can offer here.
Now, when the budget cuts or when the town reviews the budget, often the argument is, or the excuse is, that we are cutting a position or a department that isn't a priority in the community compared to others. And you guys were cut as well. What is your take when we cut Council on Aging while we have a growing population of senior citizens?
Well, to me, it's the one agency that shouldn't be cut, and I do believe that the people in this town realize how important the Council on Aging is. We've had lots of new volunteers coming in. People are aware of the Council on Aging now, and there's a lot we can do without funding. We certainly need funding. You need funding for a director. You have to have a director to oversee things. You know, we can have volunteers leading trips or leading activities. That's fine, but you still need somebody to oversee all that.
Okay. So, seniors here, I visited the Council on Aging in Bourne. It was quite different from this Council on Aging here. Tell us about the restrictions in services that you cannot provide due to the lack of funding.
We can connect people to the correct services. We are very able to do that. There's many services out there that are free to seniors that don't have enough money. Food stamps, for example, we're trying to get more people on food stamps. That's not funding from the town, that's state and federal funding. Meals on Wheels, that's a federally funded program. So getting people involved in that does not cost the town money, it's just hooking them up to those services.
If you had all the funding you could, how would this Council on Aging look differently?
Number one, we'd have our own building, and we wouldn't be in the basement of an old school. but that's not going to happen. When I first came, that was kind of the first priority of the Council on Aging Board, was to find a location for us. We looked at a number of the old schools, but it would have cost millions of dollars to make it handicap accessible, to clean out the asbestos, to do things, so it just wasn't something that was going to happen. So I think we came to the realization that this is where we are now. One idea that was floated around a few years ago was to merge, not merge, but maybe the Council on Aging could work out of the YMCA. I know the YMCA was looking to put on an addition at one point, and if we could work with them and we could have our offices there and exercise there, have a big room to serve lunches, I think that could be a possibility.
You're still fighting for them.
Still fighting for them, yes.
So in this fight, what is the biggest challenge apart from funding? Do you face any challenge from the community, people not relating to the cause?
I think the people in Wareham are very willing to help out. We also need them to come to town meeting to support the budget, because a budget is important. We finally gotten on the town budget for the first time in 5 years. We want to continue to be on the budget and hopefully see that budget increase year after year.
So speaking of a budget, we have Council on Aging, Police Department, School Department, Library. Those are just some that are coming in my head right now.
That's true.
So if you're in a panel and you had to defend yourself, why should you be permanently secured in the budget and to have that budget grow every year? What is the speech you would give?
Well, number one, we are one of the largest populations. Like I said, over 33% are seniors. Seniors have given their time and talents to work, to their town, to their churches, to their parks. You know, it's not that they want to be taken care of, because most seniors don't need to be taken care of. They can take care of themselves, but to have a nice place to come and take classes, to exercise, to come see their friends. Those that can't afford to be able to come and get a hot meal every day. Those that can't afford things to be able to come and get help with food stamps, with a housekeeper, with somebody to help the spouse if one has Alzheimer's, one's disabled, if both are disabled, which is happening, you know, to make them safe and secure in their home and know they're going to be taken care of.
I could tell you've been thinking of that response for a very long time.
Well, I just think, you know, our seniors, of course, seniors are important, and they need to be taken care of.
And they will say children important.
Right.
They will say libraries important.
They are all important, and I don't think we always need to compete with each other.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Of course, they're all important. We have to make it so we can take care of all of them.
Now, are there ways that the Council on Aging could fundraise apart from seeking grants?
Actually, that is a great question, because next month in September we are having our second casino night, which is run by the Wareham Friends of Elders and Wareham Advocates for Seniors, which are two fundraising groups for the Council on Aging. Town, we cannot fundraise.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
You did great.
Okay, you're going to edit that thing, please?
Well, welcome back. So this is the coffee segment, and as I said, prepare to laugh out loud. My guest this morning is Jesseline Peters, a comedian who just recently discovered that she will be performing on Saturday. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for being here. How did that call went?
I work for Paperback Comedy with AJ Haypenny and Edouard, and we put on a lot of shows, and so about 2 months ago he asked me if I would run it, because he's now officiating a lot of weddings, which I'm sure you've probably heard. So he may be running late, so I manage the door or do the lights, you know, whatever needs to be done. And then just yesterday he was just like, "Oh, so you're going to be performing?" And I was like,
Interesting.
Okay, I am. All right, cool, sure. You can do a tight 5, right? I'm like, yeah, of course.
What is a tight 5?
Tight 5 minutes?
Tight 5 minutes.
Yeah, very tight. Tight in the bosom,
In the
the
bosom.
buttocks, and then just fit yourself into a tight dress, because there are a lot of men performing at this one.
Oh,
they
so you need to stick up.
They need a nice set to look at. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
We do actually have Sarah Martin as hosting, so at least.
Sarah's hosting, yeah.
I love her.
I
She
had
is
her
so amazing.
2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks ago. She was here.
Oh, yeah, she is so like just real.
She's
and
dark
raw.
humor.
Yeah,
It's like takes you a second. It's like, am I laugh? Should I laugh? like you know, like it's funny. I know it's painful, but should I?
I love it, but it's like it's dark humor, but it's also like
It's
I
what
don't
it
really
is.
Care. You want to laugh? Go for
Go
it.
for
And
it.
I think it makes it funnier. Like, you know.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So what's your gig like? What's your persona?
I've been performing for about 4 years now and still just trying to figure that out. I still feel like I'm kind of a baby in that. I did learn like 2 things when I took free stand-up comedy courses, and that's the amount that you'll learn when they're free. It's just 2 things, you know. And one of them was just basically that there are 2 different types of comedians in this world. There are joke tellers and there are storytellers. So I feel like I'm more of a storyteller, but because of that, I'm trying to find the jokes, you know, like the small ones. The problem is I'll like come up with something, write it down, and then wake up in anxiety and be like, someone's used that joke. Someone has used that joke, right? And then I'll call as many comedians that I know.
Really?
Yeah, like, or I'll text them to be like, has anybody talked about, you know, conceiving on a pull-out couch? Because that just seems ironic to me.
This just seems ironic to me.
Yeah.
Damn. So, but wouldn't it be easier for your first time on the stage to have a persona ready, like that's you? Wouldn't that be easier that way, to introduce a character already, or to hide behind a character?
Funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually putting something in the works.
Okay.
But it might be like Andy Kaufman, Tony Clifton sort of thing. Does that ring it? Do you know what that means?
No. How are they like?
Andy Kaufman was, if you ever saw Man on the Moon.
Yes.
Right? And Tony Clifton was his persona. That was just a big asshole. But so like, sorry, am I not allowed to?
I think we have a disclaimer somewhere.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that.
We did warn our viewers today we are having you. So you are going to have your eccentric side of you on the stage, right?
Yeah. But
it's almost like that. The state dinners, the press dinners, where
like press conference sort of.
This was a few years ago when Barack Obama was still president, and then they had a comedian who.
Oh, they always have a comedian.
Presented his persona. Let's say if he wasn't so presidential.
Colbert?
No, there's certain. God, I feel bad. Kill and somebody. These 2 gentlemen. Kill and Peele. Yeah. So one of them was Barack Obama's persona of like that gangster kind, like if he wasn't so presidential,
right?
You know,
right,
saying one thing to the.
But that's more of me being myself and then having a different persona.
Okay.
I think I want this character to be a drag queen.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I don't know how to do drag makeup, so I'm working on it. If there's any good drag makeup artists out there that would love to help me out, I'm like, this is the only time I put makeup on.
Yeah, because you're going to be on TV.
Yeah, or just standing up in front of people. I'm like, I guess I should look good for you. That's kind of a nice thing to do, right?
So how did you get into this? 4 years ago, what happened?
Do you want me to be honest?
Sure.
It was just it was a low point in my life.
Point,
yeah.
Okay.
But I've done acting in theater ever since I was 8 years old. And as that, I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy since I was 16. Actually, the first time I ever got a little taste of stand-up was when I was 14 at my youth group's spaghetti dinner for raising money for the youth group so that we could like put on a Christmas party for the homeless.
Yeah.
And it was my brother and I that memorized Alvin and Costello's who's on first, what's on second, I don't know, third base. And that laughter, just fell in love with it. But then I just could never get myself to write my own.
Yeah.
To write your own is really tough.
Can't you, for those who are storytellers, can't you make your life funny? Oh, it's not tragic enough.
I mean, well, that's the thing is that that's the thing that actually helps me as therapy-wise.
Okay.
Whenever I'm like, oh, I hate this person, or I want to claw someone, I'm like, how is this funny? How is this funny? I need to like reprogram my brain and try and find the laughter in this, so that I'm not going crazy.
Yeah.
But it is a sense of me going a little crazy anyway.
So as a woman, I mean, normally you hear guys talking about their exes and so forth. Do you talk about your exes? Are you married? You're married, right? I saw a wedding dress on Facebook. You're not married?
Where did you see a wedding
On
dress?
your Facebook page.
Oh my goodness.
You had a mic and you had a white dress on.
I'm like, am I already posting what I want my wedding dress to be like? Wink, wink. Like, did I do that one drunken night? I hope not.
I was telling Bob, I said, I bet she performed at her own wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you're performing at somebody's wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My sister's wedding, I was the maid of honor. And I did a great performance then.
A great performance?
Yeah, she was a bad heckler as a bride.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my turn to speak. You already did your vows. You had enough time today. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, do you talk about your exes? Do you go there? Who is immune from the stage?
Well, if you were if you were with me, and you know that I'm a comedian, that makes guys like, a little scared, you know. But my current boyfriend now, he's like, whatever. This is what she loves. This is what she does. Like, if I don't get in an act, I might feel offended because we hang out all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did just write a new act that I think I might perform. That's all about him. It's all about Saturday. That's my type 5.
That's your type 5. It's all about him. Mm-hmm. So how do you prepare for a type 5?
A lot of practice.
Okay.
It's a lot of recording yourself.
All right.
You know, and just I'll like record my performances at every venue that I do, and then I run and I listen to them.
You started running. You said it then this morning. You're like, you woke up so early.
Oh yeah, I just started to. I'm starting that in October, you know, like
right.
I don't like running in the summer.
Oh, you getting ahead
like,
of the New Year's resolution movement?
Well, I like to run in the fall and the winter and the spring. I don't run in the summer.
It's so hot.
I don't like to eat the air. I don't like
holding hands. I don't really feel like in the summer it's the toughest time to be a couple.
Yeah.
Hugging and
you're
holding
like, don't
hands.
touch me.
It's just so hot.
And you're like, all you have to do is hug, and you're like,
I know. The perfect time to date is like in the winter or fall. Because you need that extra heat. You're like, yes, I'm going to hug you.
Exactly. That's why I think that the fall is like cuffing season, right? You're like, cool, we party in the summer. I don't know if I want you or you. You can all stay away. Yeah. But then September comes and you're like, I got to land this one down. It is going to get cold soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you started running. So you're going to continue on until next summer, then you're done.
Yeah. And my father is a runner, and he ran the Boston Marathon, and he loves to run in the summer. So he always finds a road race that he's like, let's make this a Father's Day present. And then I feel really guilty.
How
and
is
I
that
have
a
to,
present?
I mean, my sister is a runner, my brother's a runner, so he makes us all do it. And I lose all the time. But I ran, I finished, so that's fine, it's cool, yeah.
So now people would also make fun of themselves.
Oh, that's what you gotta do.
No,
yeah.
but I'm talking about like appearances. People will nitpick themselves.
Okay, so sometimes I play a Jewish woman on stage.
Are you Jewish?
Disclaimer, not Jewish.
Oh, how do you get away with that?
It's the hair, the nose, and then people don't ask. Like you can just fake it till you make it.
So
right?
you play a Jewish woman, but do you make fun of Jewish people?
Well, I make fun of myself
As a
as a Jewish woman.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's fun about you as a Jewish woman?
I don't know. Can we go with saying like vagina? Is that because it gets very personal? Is there's certain things I can't really say here. I'm not.
I'm sure
you
we're
know,
gonna have to put a disclaimer for the 6
I mean,
o'clock
yeah,
slot.
it's only $20 for the show.
It's only 20
So,
bucks for
like,
the show.
and the show that I do at the Red Nun is free, so that's like
You perform
even-
there for free?
yeah. We have a free show twice a month.
Damn.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, well, it's free to the audience. I get paid. But, like, you know, that's what you get for bringing in people.
Very nice.
I know.
So who are the people, what else about you that you pinpoint in order to make yourself vulnerable to the audience?
Just talking about, I think, like, I want to say maybe like sexual experiences that you wouldn't think would.
You had a lot of awkward moments?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
I'm sure they weren't funny when they were happening.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure like they just like,
I mean,
They were
right
paid
then
for.
when you just said that, I'm like, there are so many things that I have not talked about. And
Yeah.
I wish I got my notebook to write it down. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still old school. I have a notebook and need to, people are like, will use their phone. But that's a thing. You get an idea, you jot it down. My new recent thing is that I'm making parodies of songs.
okay, yeah.
So I have a parody of a song
Which one?
to the tune of Who Will Save Your Soul by Jewel.
I'm not familiar with the song.
Who will save your soul
Is it a
if
religious
you
song?
won't save your own? It's from like the early 90s.
Oh, okay.
So I changed the lyrics to
To-
Who will shave your whole if you won't shave your own. And then I have 3 verses. Solid. With a music backup. Yeah. Currently working on another one by Celine Dion. You familiar with Celine Dion?
okay.
It's because you loved me, right?
Yeah.
That's also early
Oh,
90s
yes,
too.
yes, yeah.
But this one is because you fed me. You know,
That's why I stayed with you.
yeah.
Because
You gave me pizza when I wanted fruit.
Oh my God.
Said you would never fit into that suit. Yeah, like that. That's just a clip. That's a
You
little one.
have a great voice.
Thanks so much.
Maybe, that could be your whole thing. You could just take songs and just
Well, yeah, I mean, like the drag queen. Drag queens love to like sing,
yeah.
perform songs too, and they're just funny with their expressions. But
that's a sport of its own.
yeah,
Drag queens.
yeah. Oh my goodness, and I love them all.
I usually say if my boyfriend falls in love with a drag queen, there's no competition. I would just let that go. I can't compete.
I know.
I just can't compete.
So stunning.
How do
like
you?
better eyelashes, like makeup.
Some of
with,
them
like,
are
all-
gorgeous.
Oh, so on
They
point.
have their fast metabolism, so they look fine with the fake hips,
I
fake
know.
butt, fake bosoms. I call it a day.
Yeah, and that's why the idea that this woman, the persona that I'm created that has a voice, she thinks that drag queens are actually what real women look like because she was raised differently by drag queens.
Nice.
So she doesn't understand that drag queens are really men.
Men.
And that's where the act stems from.
Okay.
So I have like an act for it. I just really need to dress up to play the part. So
You're gonna play a drag queen, a woman playing a
Like-
man playing a woman, or
correct,
Holy shit!
right? Yeah, I'm gonna put some padding in. Like remember, I did theater, so like I will
So
dress
you're
up.
gonna be you gotta look at men looking like a woman.
Oh, and when I'm at the show, like if I'm walking around, I am totally the character the whole
Yeah?
night.
Nice.
Like that'll be exciting. I wanna.
So whom do you look up to in this industry that you said, one day I want to be like that?
I think I take a little bit from like each and every one. You know, like after I do a show, I like to watch like a new comedian. Like Dave Chappelle just came out with a new.
I haven't
segment.
watched it. I heard it's amazing.
I mean, and it's so funny because he's political, but it's not intense political.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's the way that they get away with it. And then Bill Burr just came out with a new one, and he's just so angry. He loves ranting, and I like to take that because sometimes you get frustrated, sometimes you get angry, right? And then like, how can you rant and make it funny? Like, how can you just...
That's what you want to do, rant and make it funny.
I mean, that's just a little thing I take from him.
Yeah.
You know, like Amy Schumer talking about her
I've
vagina
never,
or like
I've never
banging
grasped,
people. Like, that was when I was like, I've had sex before. I could talk about this.
Yeah.
That might be fun, you know?
Okay, so if anything, they open a door for you, or what things, or how far you can push it, kind of thing. Well, South Park should be inspiring. It should have inspired people a long time ago. I mean, really, they went places where we could not even imagine.
Oh my God, yeah, Matt and Trey, like
I mean,
they
it was
are
Starvin
just...
Marvin, and that it is so true.
Or just like them creating Book of Mormon too, like the ideas coming out of those men's head. They write their show every week, and it's them two and their lawyer in the room, and then they just spitball back and forth. Like sometimes that's all you need, and basically they come up with the episode where there was Tom Cruise trapped in the closet. They just kept going back and forth, and the lawyer's like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, what if he was literally in the closet? And that's when he's like, okay, I'll go call some people.
So I see that we have to end the show, but I thank you so much for being in the studio.
Well,
we will
so
look forward to seeing you on Saturday. To know more about your boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. And where the lines we've crossed, right?
So my guest was Jesseline Peters in the studio talking about, well, we got to know her as a comedian. She'll be performing this Saturday at the Elks, Wareham, New Bedford Elks. The show starts at 8 p.m. Doors are open at 7 p.m. She's also going to be selling tickets. This concludes our morning show. If you missed us, the program will re-air this evening at 6 p.m. We'll also go on YouTube, Wareham Community Television on YouTube. And with that, we'll be back on Friday with I do not know who yet. Goodbye, Wareham.